It's apple season, and for you, we're making caramel apple cake, but not any caramel apple cake, because we're gonna flip this on its head. I mean, we're gonna flip this. We're making upside down caramel apple cake. Welcome to Sweet Spot, where I share amazing recipes, offer some tips and tricks while trying to have a little bit of fun. This caramel apple upside down cake, like all upside down cakes, focuses on the bottom because the bottom is the top, so you're really focusing on the top. You want the top, which is the bottom, to be nice and pretty. Let's start with a 9-inch pan. Simply grease it. I'm using a butter wrapper, particularly focusing on the sides and edges, not so much the bottom, because the bottom is the top. Preheat the oven to 350 degrees, and we start by prepping the bottom, the top. You know what I mean. To start to make the bottom, which becomes the top, we combine into a small saucepan the butter, the brown sugar, cinnamon, and honey. Over medium heat, we melt and stir to combine these ingredients. No need to bring to a boil. This mixture, when it's baked, becomes the caramel part of the caramel apple upside down cake. Remove from the heat and pour into the prepared pan. You're going to need 1 or 2 apples depending on their size. You can choose a traditional baking apple such as a Granny Smith, or go for something a little sweeter such as this Red Delicious. I like to use a combination, a little bit of tart, a little bit of sweet. Peel the apples. Then thinly slice the apples about 1/4 inch or so, discarding the core. Rub a little lemon juice on your apple slices to keep them from turning brown. Since the bottom becomes the top, and that is the showpiece, arrange them as nicely as you can, slightly overlapping each slice. We've prepared the upside of the upside down cake. Now for the cake part. I'm going to use a hand mixer, though you could use a stand mixer if you wanted. In a bowl that's just large enough, we want to combine the dry ingredients. That's the flour, the cinnamon, the baking powder, and the salt. Using the mixer, cream the butter and sugar for about 3 minutes or so. Add in the first egg and mix it in. Then add in the second and do the same. In with the vanilla and mix again. We want to alternate mixing in the dry and wet ingredients. Start with the wet. Half the milk, half the flour, half the milk, the rest of the flour. Pour the batter into the pan, taking care not to disturb the apples. Then smooth the top. The top becomes the bottom. Into the oven for about 35 to 40 minutes until the cake is a golden brown and springs back a little bit when you touch it. The cake has baked, it's a golden color, and it smells delicious. Let it cool in the pan for about 15 minutes. Then we flip it out onto a cake plate. Careful, the caramel on the bottom, which will be the top, is mighty hot. Exactly 35 minutes of baking time, and the cake was done. I let it cool in the pan for about 15 minutes, flipped it over onto the cake plate. It came out beautifully, no sticking whatsoever. And it's taste test time, my favorite part. I have this gorgeous slice of cake. The cake itself, pretty distinct layer from the apples and the topping. The caramel's all over the top of this. I'm just going to try a bite of the cake first, just the cake part. The cake itself is very light and airy with a hint of cinnamon. I love it really when there's just a hint as opposed to just overpowering cinnamon flavor. And now I'll taste with the topping. The topping's sweet and a little more of a bang from the cinnamon. It's a nice blend. The cake is just barely sweet and the topping much more sweet, and what a nice combination. Now a piece of the apple. The apple is tender and crisp and not mushy. A nice combination of flavors. The honey and the caramel sauce makes it very homey and delicious. This caramel apple upside down cake is a real winner, perfect for an autumn day. If you enjoyed this video, show your support by giving a thumbs up, leave a comment, and if you're not a subscriber, now is the perfect time to subscribe. Click the little subscribe link down below and hit the bell icon next to it to be notified whenever a new video comes out. Until next time, this is it for Sweet Spot. This is good.